It was just another Tuesday of my junior year of high school. I decided to go back to my boarding room and watch a movie. Closing my blinds and turning off the lights, I pulled up this film Spotlight, which I had heard was pretty good for some time now. 2 hours, 9 minutes. Nothing could have prepared me for what I was about to watch. Spotlight follows the real story of the Boston Globe's 4-person investigative journalist team, the titular Spotlight, as they unraveled the widespread abuse of children by Catholic priests across Boston. What starts as Mike, Robbie, Sasha, and Matt's inspection into the misdoings of a single priest evolves into the discovery of the systemic exploitation of religious status, with key figures in positions of power around Boston aiding the cover-up. Given this heavy plot, a cinematographer could view the film as a boring project that pushes their work to take a back seat. Yet Masanobu Takayanagi masterfully balances subdued, almost reportorial filmmaking with gorgeous sequences and frames that heighten key moments throughout the film. Takayanagi's previous work on performance-driven movies like 2012's Silver Linings Playbook translates perfectly to director Tom McCarthy's Truth First brief. Naturalistic lighting and 360-degree actor mobility ground the story in the film's on-site shooting, while longer takes and the high volume of medium shots allow scenes to play out as if the camera were just a fly on the wall, nothing more than a silent third party following our characters as they uncover the extent of the church's appalling scandal. The framing feels contained but precise, always keeping an eye on our protagonist's progress as the camera spends the majority of the movie tracking at least one of the 4 members of the Spotlight team. When the camera moves, it's because the story moves, following the team with pans, dollies, and handheld shots that physically highlights their work in uncovering this ever-evolving narrative. The camera movement at the Globe especially emphasizes the growing urgency and tension of their work. Each new discovery comes with it a new meeting to attend, a new book in the archives to find, or a new clip to track down that had somehow been lost in the shuffle. But to say that Takayanagi's cinematography merely shows us the events as they would occur would be a huge disservice. His artistic choices subconsciously build depth and weight to the narrative. In this scene, Spotlight's head editor Robbie goes to meet another graduate of his old high school, who he has learned was a victim of abuse from one of the school's priests. The lunch starts off with standard flat cuts between the two, until Robbie asks about the molestation. The camera slowly zooms in on the victim, emphasizing his walls crumbling apart as he tells the story of how he was exploited.
How'd you find out?
Well,
I guess it doesn't matter. No. I never even told my wife.
In montage sequences, Takayanagi also intertwines gorgeous shots into the mundane. Frames of the team tracking down names of potential suspects, Robbie watching the delivery trucks drive out with the published article, and even something as simple as riding in the file cart with all the case snippets as they are pushed to the Spotlight office, all add an artistic flair without breaking the realism of the film. Many of the interviews and even everyday conversations conducted by Spotlight's journalists also come alive thanks to Takayanagi's shooting and cutting. Filmed almost like an interrogation, these scenes often flip between just 2 angles of the conversing characters, recording our journalists carefully pry deeper into their opposites. These subtle choices allow us to soak in the heartbreaking script and emotional performances of the interviewees, while still leading us to instinctively acknowledge the journalist's prowess in finding out what they need. Speaking of subtle, let's talk for a second about Spotlight's color palette. At first glance, you could say there barely is one. Whites and grays fill up nearly every scene of the Globe, and other locations still feel desaturated and bland at best. But this washed-out palette achieves everything director McCarthy wished for such a controversial thriller, favoring the movie's procedural clarity and truthfulness over sensation through color. This is integral to Spotlight's objective of accurately portraying the real world, because at its core, the film recounts the very real and horrifying truth that many priests of the Catholic Church really did prey on young boys and girls, and that the church and high-ranking figures around Boston really did cover up each and every incident that occurred. It's when relating to this central purpose that Takayanagi makes what I believe to be his best cinematographic choices. After most major discoveries in the film, Takayanagi frames our protagonists to capture the gravity of this awfulness. Rare wide shots place Sasha and Matt next to churches and playgrounds as they talk to victims of abuse, remorselessly reminding them and the viewer of just how systemic this issue is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. It's okay, Joe, it's okay.
Of course there is a church right there. And a playground.
Joe, did you ever try and tell anyone?
Like a priest.
Similarly, near the middle of the third act, Mike, the writer of the eventual Spotlight article, is in a cab leaving the courthouse with damning evidence that the church knew about the continued abuse conducted by priests while doing nothing about it, as he passes a church across the road from a young child playing on a swing. The shot doesn't linger, but it reminds us of what is at stake, setting up arguably the best acting of Mark Ruffalo's career.
We'll keep our eye on the Herald.
Keep our eye on the Herald. They run this, and they get it wrong. The church will bury it. We got to do this now.
Mike.
What? Why are we hesitating? Barron told us to get law. This is law.
Barron told us to get the system. We need the full scope. That's the only thing that will put an end to this.
Then let's take it up to Ben. Let him decide.
We'll take it to Ben when I say it's time.
It's time, Robbie. It's time. They knew, and they let it happen. 2 kids. Okay? It could have been you. It could have been me. It could have been any of us. We gotta nail these scumbags. We gotta show people that nobody can get away with this. Not a priest or a cardinal or a freaking pope.
Takayanagi's filmmaking reminds us that even though each incident feels like an independent story, the reality is that anyone could be a future victim, and that without Spotlight, the abuse that interviewed victims so painfully recount will only continue. Spotlight is not a fun film to watch. It is gut-wrenching, heartbreaking, and the list of cities where abuse scandals have been uncovered shown at the end of the film highlights just how structural this issue truly is. But Takayanagi's filmmaking perfectly captures this painful reality. It shows how subtlety can still evoke meaning and is a testament to the value of a cinematographer in building a world that suits its narrative.
Spotlight.